The city was alive with noise, but in the quiet corners of the university, two souls were about to cross paths in a way that would change everything. Aarav was a boy who lived in silence, someone who hid behind books and late-night struggles. He came from a world where nothing was easy, yet he carried dreams larger than the life he was born into. Meher was the opposite, born into comfort, surrounded by wealth and security, yet her eyes often held a loneliness that no one else could see. Their first meeting was ordinary. Two strangers in the library reaching for the same book. Their fingers touched, she smiled politely, and he looked away, flustered. But something about that moment stayed with both of them. Soon, their eyes began to find each other in crowded lecture halls, in the canteen, in the library. First came small smiles, then small conversations, and eventually long talks that stretched into evenings. Aarav found himself telling her things he never told anyone, and Meher laughed at his bad jokes as if they were the funniest in the world. Slowly, without realizing it, they became inseparable. On rainy evenings, they would walk together under one umbrella. Once, as they stood under the dripping branches of a tree, Meher whispered, "Do you ever feel like some moments are written long before we live them?" Aarav looked at her, rainwater running down his forehead, and said softly, "What if this is one of those moments?" She smiled, but her eyes carried something fragile, something unspoken. Their love grew silently, beautifully. But the world outside was not silent. When Meher's family learned about Aarav, their disapproval was immediate and harsh. "He is not our equal," her father said coldly. "We gave you everything, and this is what you choose?" Her mother tried to reason gently. "Beta, love doesn't last without stability. You'll understand one day." Aarav faced humiliation he had never felt before, reminded of where he came from, the small rented house, his father's old scooter, the endless struggle attached to his name. But none of that mattered when Meher held his hand in secret and whispered, "I don't care about them. I care about you." For a while, that was enough. Then fate struck. Meher fainted during class one afternoon, and what everyone thought was just exhaustion turned into something much darker. Tests revealed a rare heart condition. It could be treated, yes, but with painful, expensive procedures and no guarantees. Her parents broke down, terrified of losing her. To them, Aarav was not strong enough, not secure enough, not capable of carrying her through this storm. Aarav begged, promised, swore that he would take care of her. "I'll work twice as hard. I'll give up everything. I'll do anything for her," he pleaded. But Meher's father's words cut through him like knives. Love cannot pay hospital bills. Love cannot save her. Meher loved Aarav more than she could bear, but she also couldn't watch him destroy himself trying to save her. One night, under the stars they had once dreamed beneath, she whispered with tears streaming down her cheeks, "Aarav, what if love isn't enough?" His voice broke as he held her tightly. "Don't say that, don't you dare!" She trembled in his arms. "If you love me, let me go. Let me carry this without dragging you down." Aarav shook his head violently, tears burning his eyes. "I'd rather burn with you than live without you." But destiny does not bend for broken hearts. Her parents forced her into marriage with a wealthy family friend's son, someone who could promise financial security, stability, and a name that society respected. Meher resisted, cried, begged, but her illness weakened her fight. Aarav met her one last time before she left. His hands shook as he gave her a letter. "If I can't stay in your life, at least let my words stay with you." She kissed the envelope, but never opened it. Her voice was almost a whisper as she said, "You'll always be my only love, Aarav, even if the world never lets me be yours." And then she walked away, her tears hidden in the folds of her dupatta, leaving him alone under the unforgiving sky. Aarav drowned himself in work. He rose slowly, painfully, building success brick by brick. People began to know his name, respect his talent, admire his achievements. But none of it mattered. Every applause echoed hollow in his chest. Every award felt heavy with the weight of the love he had lost. At night, he would open his copy of the letter he gave her and reread the words that bled with sorrow. Meher, I don't care about the world. I don't care about their walls. If love was enough, I would have moved mountains for you. But maybe some stories are not meant to have endings, only echoes. Years later, news reached him like a dagger to the heart. Meher was gone. Her heart condition had finally taken her life. At her funeral, Aarav stood at a distance, broken, hollow, unable to breathe. She looked peaceful, almost as though she was sleeping. And in her hand, clutched tightly, even in death, was the same envelope he had once given her. The letter, still sealed, never opened. She had carried it all her life, but never read it. Maybe she didn't need to. Maybe she already knew every word. That night, Aarav sat alone under the stars, the same sky that once watched them dream together. His voice was a whisper drowned by tears. I loved you, Meher. I still do. But love wasn't enough, was it? The silence gave no answer. Only the stars remained, indifferent witnesses to a love that burned too bright and died too soon. Aarav never married. He wrote books, each one soaked in longing, sorrow, and fragments of her memory. Readers wept over his words, calling him a genius. They never knew that every story was a letter to a girl who once carried his love but never read it. And when his time came and Aarav was gone, those who loved his writing carved a single sentence on his grave. He loved her with everything, but when love wasn't enough, he loved her still.